Quarantine. We've heard this word countless times since the beginning of this year, and probably numerous times to come. But do you know what this word actually means, and do you know the history of it? Let's find out. According to Google, the word quarantine means a state, period, or place of isolation in which people or animals that have arrived from elsewhere or been exposed to infectious or contagious disease are placed. The word itself comes from the Latin word quaranginta and the Italian word quaranta, both meaning 40. So why is the number 40 and not 14, like the number of days we are asked to quarantine during this pandemic? This is because the word quarantine came into use during history's deadliest pandemic, none other than the Black Death, where around 200 million victims, the equivalent to 30% of Europe's population, died. The Venetian-controlled port city of Ragusa, now known as Dubrovnik in modern-day Croatia, introduced a policy known as Trentino. Trentino meant that ships arriving from plague-infested areas had to be confined for 30 days in case the crew members had the plague, before letting them mix with the general public. This policy turned out to be rather successful and was adopted by several other port cities over the next 80 years, including Pisa and Marseille. However, in 1397, the period of isolation changed from 30 days to 40 days. The name was changed from Trentino to Quarantino, which became anglicized into the word quarantine. It is thought that the reason why the quarantine became extended from 30 to 40 days is because of a Bible reference to the number 40. For example, the 40 days of fasting in the desert. Maybe it was just an extra safety precaution, although the enforcement of the quarantine wasn't entirely successful all the time, as the rich and influential were often made exceptions to quarantining as they could buy their way out. Centuries later, when the US was first established, many infectious diseases were unprevented. Consistent yellow fever meant that quarantine was implemented in 1878 and again in 1892 during the outbreak of cholera. It was used again during the Ebola outbreak in 2014, but even more recently, the current coronavirus outbreak. Quarantine today is only limited to 14 days, as it takes around 2 weeks for symptoms of the virus to appear. I hope you find this informative. Make sure to like and subscribe to our channel for the latest updates. This is Leia Zhu from ZChannel. Thanks for watching.